All right, everyone, we got to talk about Bernie Sanders' far-left economic plans. I guess people looked into his tax plans enough to realize that there was a severe shortcoming with regards to money from his Medicare for All scam, which it is a scam. Basically, what he's saying is if you have private insurance, fuck yourself. No, you don't get that option anymore. You'll be on public insurance like everyone else. Everyone will be totally equal. Except for his rich buddies, of course. They can do whatever they want. They can go get health care in another country if they really need it. So you get fucked. You're fucked. They'll go to some other first world country where you can get private health care as long as you're willing to pay more. They'll go to the UK or Norway or something like that, and they'll get their heart transplants. You'll be on a waiting list and die. Fucking miserable pawns. That's what Bernie Sanders and his lovely socialists really think about people. Anyway, now, he said, well, I guess a 50% tax rate on the upper income bracket is not enough. So now what's he going to do? More wealth tax. So now if you've got more than 32 million, that gets taxed at an additional rate, and it starts at like 2 or 3% and then goes up to 8. So basically, if you're truly rich, you won't be for long. You got to give it to Uncle Sam. But here's the thing. Do I believe in a million years that Bernie Sanders would ever finagle around a way in which to take that money and even disperse it to the poor? No. It'll go into the pockets of bureaucrats who will ever expand and engorge themselves and parasitize the total that you've made. And it'll go towards bombing people. Because an administration will come in that isn't run by Bernie Sanders. Let me point something out here and be very clear. While I oppose Bernie Sanders, while I would never vote for him, while I think that every economic belief he has is backwards, outdated, and wrong, I do believe that he genuinely does give a shit about the poor. I think he does. I think he would attempt to use that. I think he really thinks that the rich are part of some conspiracy to hurt the poor, and he needs to take the money, appropriate it, take it away from the evil, greedy people that he largely doesn't take money from anyway to his benefit, and then disperse it to people who have less. I think he genuinely believes it. He sees himself as a corrective force. He sees himself as one of the ghosts of Christmas past or something like that, talking to Ebenezer Scrooge and trying to help the Cratchits. I understand that. But Bernie Sanders if he's elected, he's the president of the United States. He has to get through the legislature. A legislature that's filled with people who are not like him. A legislature filled with people who are controlled by billionaires and corporations and pharma companies. Do I believe in a million years that Bernie Sanders as one hegemonic force is capable of shining his magical socialism rays into their eyes and causing them to give up their human greed and ambition in favor of, we'll take care of the hungry and poor? No! Come on! That's utopian bullshit. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and what happens is some well-meaning individual, they say, well, I hate that there are people that have less than me. I hate that there are people that are hungry. I hate that there are people that are shot at and stuff. I need to help them. It's the same. How is that any different from a bunch of warmongers who fundamentally, they think that they're fighting for what's right and then they end up blowing up orphanages? How is it any different? There is no difference. Road to hell paved with good intentions. The bones of saints paving the road to hell, so to speak. That's what happens. Bernie Sanders says, well, I hate that there are all these poor people around that are suffering and they have less than I do. I wish that they could never work and be like me. That's wonderful, Bernie. The problem is that you're trying to take power into government, which is inevitably run by the rich and powerful and the corrupt, generally speaking. Not like Bernie, not like somebody like him, but somebody like an Elizabeth Warren, somebody who's very rich, who's very corrupt, who likes power a bit too much, and they'll have that money. You'll set the stage for them to have that money. Or what about a Republican administration that decides to say, well, we'll get these taxes, we'll lower it by 0.5%, it'll still be historically high, and then we'll just bomb people. Buy more nukes. Buy more missiles or something. So that's first. He wants that additional wealth tax. Then he's talking about an exit tax. Right now, if you want to become an expat, you have to pay like all sorts of fees and shit. He wants to up it to like 40%. So basically, if you want to be an expat, U.S. expat, and live abroad and sort of do the dual residency sort of thing, you'll have to give up 40% of your wealth because you're an evil colonialist scum or something. Again, another class of people that Bernie Sanders just can't like. So everyone has to pay more or has less choice. You know, some of those working and lower middle class individuals that Bernie Sanders wants to give this government health care to already have private health insurance and are part of unions. It was funny. Right now, Bernie Sanders is coming out today to chastise American Airlines because they can't reach an agreement with their 30,000 or some odd mechanics workers. They're in a union. They've been negotiating for years, and they just fell through again. And he's like, whoa, damn American Airlines. Evil corporation won't give their workers more than they can pay them. Basically, just fucking print. He thinks that American Airlines can print more money just like the government does. So that it can just pay its workers more artificially. Everyone just fucking print more money. You know, that could work in an ANCAP society. What's to stop me from printing my own currency and saying, well, it's good because I say it is. It's basically the basis of any paper currency anyways. Who fucking gives a shit? The Central Bank of Sticks, Hex, and Hammer is backed by spoons. My collection of spoons will be the backing for it. As I add more spoons, it'll add value to it, and so we'll carefully manage the number of spoons for the number of bills, and people can use that as a currency. I think it can work. How is that any more weird than Bitcoin? How is that any more weird than the US dollar? I don't know. I don't really know that it is. Basically, the dollar has value because we have aircraft carriers. It's not anything to do with oil. It's about being able to control the oil pipelines. It's military backed. But Bernie Sanders, then he comes out with his exit text. So basically, if you are very poor in the United States, very poor, I mean like you're in the bottom 10 or 20%, Bernie Sanders is the candidate for you, and he's less crazy than Elizabeth Warren and more honest and would actually, I think, attempt to implement these things. For everyone else, there's Trump, basically, at this point. For the 80%, there's fucking Donald Trump. It makes no sense. By the way, I see this all the time. Like, whenever Bernie Sanders makes an I hate the rich style post, people say, well, conservatives be like, and then they'll show like dudes, you know, licking people's boots or whatever. Now, here's the thing. I want an economy in which there's upward mobility enough so that I can get rich. Yeah, and I may totally miss a mark. Maybe I never get there. But I want to be able to try, and if I do get there, no, I don't want to be treated like I did something wrong by succeeding. That's not what this country was founded for. If you want to be like that, go fucking be European or something. Go to any other place in the world where people get to the highest level, most of their wealth is appropriated back into some commie collective. You go and do that. Go and do that and be elsewhere. As far as the United States, I mean, why the hell would he feel a need to try to tax the expats more and stuff? So basically, every single group of people loses with Sanders. If you're in a union, you lose your collective bargaining with regards to anything healthcare related. You get fucked. That's now a government service. No more unions. What's the point of them? It's the fucking point. Why doesn't the government why hasn't Bernie Sanders proposed that the government will fix everyone's wages too and determine how much everyone makes? Why not? Might as well centrally plan everything if you're going to centrally plan something as intrinsic as healthcare. I personally favor a more privatized model myself, but that's just me. I guess that makes me one of the evil rich people. Evil and rich, yeah. It'd be wonderful if the world worked in as stereotypical a manner as some of these people think, because they think like if you lean right economically at all, you must have a top hat. And like you're like Scrooge McDuck, you have literally like a silo filled with gold coins that you dive into on a daily basis and swim around in. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun, I guess, but it's not realistic. No, what Bernie Sanders thinks is rich is people that are like me, like middle class and shit. Owns own vehicle, fucking can make ends meet, is able to pay student loans up. He hates somebody like me. I'm actually able to make my student loan payments. Maybe that's why he hates the middle class. He hates the middle class because we don't sit there begging him for a handout. No, what'll happen is it wouldn't even be a handout. Under Bernie Sanders' student loan debt forgiveness plan, the additional taxes that he'd be levying against somebody like me would more than outweigh the debt forgiveness. So, I mean, what's the point? There's no reason to vote for him. I mean, Bloomberg fucking coming out and slamming him and Warren for their plans. They're legacy media. They should love their fucking socialism. They're so far left, they've even pissed off part of the left-wing media with regards to their stupid plans. We're going to tax everyone at 100% and then just give people an equal amount of money. Oh, problem solved, an equal communistic society, wonderful. Till the bureaucrats exist, but the problem is they do. That's why socialism can never work. Too much centrality. Fuck Bernie Sanders. That's about all. Peace out.